As we have captured the high-level requirements in a BRD, now we'll go through a JAD session in which we'll be having our key stakeholders such as subject matter experts, underwriters, actuaries, policy administration system, and product owners and business analysts, and probably they would gather the requirements and brainstorm on the high level requirements that we have. So the first high level requirements that we have is the proposal submission. So probably we'll go deep dive into it. We will gather the requirements for it, and probably then in then probably we will frame it and create a functional requirement document or a user story document. So BRD and FRD are generally created in a waterfall model, and user story document is generally created in an agile. So nowadays, as agile is in practice, so definitely user story document is more preferred. And one more advantage of a user story document is basically, as the name suggests, user story. So we will prefer writing the requirements from the user point of view, because as user would be using it, and if we are writing the requirements based on their needs, will be most appropriate in terms of capturing up the requirements. So before going to the JAT session, we should prepare a list of questions that we gonna be asking to the key stakeholders. So we already have a high level requirements that probably for a proposal submission there are various key fields such as personal details, policy details, nominee information, financial information, health and financial health and lifestyle information. Plus there would be an section for documents as well. We will be uploading up the documents. Okay, but we were not sure like for further what all fields would be there for each of them, right? So what fields should be captured in the proposal form? So in proposal form, I think we should select a font now. I'll be going with the gallery body, and 16, maybe 14 would be fine. So in proposal form, uh, we should have following fields. So first is personal information, as we have discussed. So under personal information, we can have full name, date of birth, gender, mobile number, email address, gender, mobile number, email address, and also the residential address. And we can also ask, do we need education information or something like that? But as we are capturing up, as we are creating up the insurance application, we probably won't be needing up the education details or something like that. Okay, so that's why we have just captured at the personal level. Next is our policy details, and in policy we'll be having product selected, policy term, sum assured, and premium frequency. Right. So these were the details under policy. Then we will have our nominee details, wherein we'll be having the fields like nominee name, then relationship with policyholder, nominee date of birth, so date of birth, and then if minor, then guardian name. The next section is the financial information. It's pretty straightforward because these are the basic details like that we probably would be needing for our life insurance application. So occupation type, employer name, occupation type, employer name, annual income, annual income, right? That's it regarding the financial information. Then we have health declaration, wherein we can ask about height, weight, existing illness, previous surgeries, family medical history, lifestyle declaration, smoking status, alcohol consumption, hazardous activities. At last, we'll be having document upload, and we'll be probably needing documents such as age proof. Then we probably would be needing resident proof, yeah, or we can say residential proof. Then we'll be needing up the income proof so that we can check whether a client or customer can afford the premium amount or not. And then at last, medical um, medical information such as surgeries or allergies. Okay. So these are the details we probably would be needing up in the proposal form. Next is which fields should be mandatory and which should be optional. To that, the probably key stakeholders can reply to that as employer name could be optional, and in terms of uploading documents, in case if there are no medical issues, then probably uploading up the documents such as surgeries or allergy could be optional. So we can probably jot it down so that we can create up the document later. So apart from two fields, all other fields would be mandatory. So optional fields would be employer name. So there could be a scenario where the person is self-employed. So in that case, employer name would be optional, and even though if somebody is employed, they may or may not um, mention that. Although they have to give up the income proof, but employer name is optional. And rest is medical surgeries slash allergies document upload. Allergies document upload. So going to the third question, should customers specify the quantity or frequency of alcohol or smoking consumption? Okay. To that, probably stakeholders would reply that they do not require the frequency, although they would require the status for it. We would require the status for um, alcohol slash smoking, um, such as such as frequent smoker or alcohol consumer, comma, occasional smoker slash alcohol consumer. However, we do not require specific frequency or quantity for the same. Okay. So moving to the fourth question, can nominee be a minor and what happens if the nominee is under 18? To that, probably they could reply that in case the nominee is a minor, we would require up the guardian details or the guardian name. So if nominee is a minor, we would require guardian details, guardian name. Then what documents must be uploaded during proposal submission? We have already discussed that. So answer could be same, such as age proof, residential proof, or address proof, we can say, then income proof and medical surgeries and allergies. So what validation should the system perform before allowing proposal submission? So probably there could be an verification or validation on then probably SSN number, sum assured, and policy term, right? So we can mention that there could be validation on SSN number and then sum assured, or probably we would be having policy term. For that, we can also do the validation. Okay. We are done with all the questions. So probably if you had any other question, we could probably ask them and get it clarified. Further, from this answers, we can easily create up a document such as functional requirement document or a user story document.